Okay, hello to the stream. Um, Let me just get ready as usual. Let's see. Oh, I should turn out my phone sounds. Tag stream ping on my Discord. Okay. Cool. Got it. Oh, I have still chat from the last time. Okay. Chat is set up on the phone. I was just looking for a thing that I found yesterday about nodes. Okay, I think I'm going to start. But yeah, where was this answer that I was looking for? I wanted to talk about. Okay. So yeah, just give me a minute. Today's stream is going to be about implementing interaction, like generic interaction. When you click on something in the world, I wanted to do something, right? And stuff like that. And hopefully make it generic enough so that I don't have to be like, if the name of this object is that, but instead be smarter. Okay. So, what else is there? Where's my stream? Let me get it. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, let me also get my Excalibur is there. Okay, so that I can explain stuff. Cool. Okay, let me begin. So, welcome everybody to the stream again. This is the 13th stream of the space station game that I started working on for Ludum Dare, but then I continued on. And this is not going to be a very long stream. I'm gonna do an hour and a half or 40. Yeah, an hour and a half. Because I have to run around 9. Yeah, this is more going to be, oh, wait, it's actually 6. So I have 2 and something hours. Yeah, not 1 and something hours. 2.5 hours or something. Okay, so, yeah, this stream is going to be, as I said, about implementing interaction. And what I mean by that is like interactables in the game. And I've implemented various systems like that in Unity before, but this is the first time I'm doing it in Godot. So, before I start, what is this about? Well, I'm making a space station simulator sort of in Godot. And yeah, I started during the Ludum Dare, but now it's been some time, and there's a space station, and inside a space station you can move around, and you can move around like this. Let me show you. Yes. So you can basically, the way you move is you grab things, you grab walls or something, and then you like swing yourself around. There is also, oh yeah, and you can knock things over, and you can also move things like this with your hands. Another thing is you can also jump. Jump. Well, if something is behind you, you are in zero gravity, right? But if you jump, yeah, if you have something behind you, you have this space jump tooltip on the bottom, and yeah, then you can press space to jump to wherever you're looking at. So that's another way you can move around the station, with your legs, and then you can also move with your arms like this. And if you want to stop, you just stop moving like this, and that's it. And then of course you can grab other stuff while you're flying, and it's all physics based. So you're also moving yourself when you're moving something else. Like I have one of the heavier boxes somewhere here. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. When you move that around, it's also moving you. So yeah, as a heavy box, it's like, yeah. But right now, I actually disabled, because before the rotation was fixed. Now rotation is not fixed, so it's moving a bit weirdly. So yes, on my last episode, on my last stream, I was actually working on getting hatches to work. Oh, and this hatch is actually stuck into the light, so it won't move, unfortunately. But some other most of other hatches are actually moving. So as you can see here, you can close them, you can open them. You also have some of them, or this is the one that is, this one is locked because it's looking outside. And yeah, most of the other ones you can shut down, but of course if they're colliding with some other hatch, like in this case over there, you can't. So I would need to close this one first, and then this one. So yeah, it's kind of like a physics puzzle in zero G. And yeah, one more thing is that this hatch, because there's another hatch on the other side, it sticks a bit into the other hatch. So sometimes when you're trying to open, it won't open. But yeah, the other hatch also opens. So if I push it, there it is. And this is the cargo craft. There's no lights inside, but I can use my flashlights to light it a bit. Yeah, so well, I can close the hatch if I want. Oh, it's a little bit difficult. Okay, yeah, that works fine. Okay, so yes, this is the new thing since last stream, that you can open the hatches, which is pretty cool. And yeah, now the hatches can now be locked, but there is no way for me to lock it from outside. So yeah, yesterday on stream I was thinking about, like, okay, now I need a way how to lock them somehow, and I need to add a little bit more interaction, because right now the only interaction that I have is just moving objects like this, right, and boxes and everything. Like, where's my light? There used to be a light, and now I don't see it anymore. Well, maybe it's inside here. Yeah. Oh, I put this port just for testing. Yeah, you can see it. You can see the port here. But yeah, you can just move things. You can grab them, and that's basically it. But yeah, I want to add some interactables, so that, because in the future I want to add like pushing buttons and opening boxes and something, opening cupboards and stuff like that, stuff to interact with other than in the physical sense. Yeah, or like fire extinguishers. Oh, I actually managed to close this, so it's like it's barely moving when it's wedged against the light. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you can also look at the beautiful blue planet, but it's just blue. There's nothing else. All right. So, yeah, one more thing that I did yesterday was was that after I ended the stream, I realized why my hatches are so dark. It's because I had actually a wrong texture on them. It was the texture was very shiny, but the actual texture that I want to use is a lot rougher. It is still metallic, but it is not as reflective and not as shiny, not as smooth. Okay, so that's it. We have hatches moving. That's a good step. The first step to making also modular things, so I can move spaceships in and out. That would be cool, and also isolate chambers from like pressure or something, or if there's like a chemical attack or something. Chemical attack. I mean, a chemical leak. You can close the hatches and save yourself. Okay, so yeah, let me also get into the stream. I'm gonna add that I want, yeah, let's add this into to do antennas, material types. Okay, let's do here. I'm just gonna add that I want to fix. What did I just do? Oh yeah, move the light from jamming the hatch in the main module. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so today I'm gonna implement interaction. Oh, it's not here, it's over here. And yeah, as I said, I replaced the wrong material that was on the hatches. That's done. And yeah, today it's all going to be about interaction. And first I'm gonna talk about a little bit about how to set up the architecture for interaction. Should I use inheritance or interfaces? I don't know, in C#. Yeah, I should make some kind of an interactable class. I just wrote down things that I thought about quickly off my top of the head. Using interactables when right-clicking, yeah, that's my main goal, I guess, today. And then, yeah, locking the hatches, just right-click to lock them so that I can see some interactions. Maybe make button pushing. And then, yeah, and then also items. Items are basically interactable things that you can carry. So they should implement interactable, and when you right-click on them, you can take them into hands, and then you can also use the items in hands. Imagine like, well, a typical example is a gun, but my game is not going to have a gun. Let's say a fire extinguisher, right? You take a fire extinguisher in your hands, you're holding it, and then you can shoot it, and then you have the spray. So like you need to also yeah, I'm gonna use right clicks for now. I might switch left and right, but yeah, right click to pick them up and right click to shoot, to use them basically. So yeah. And also, I would need to have some kind of interactions with other objects when you have something in hands, like a wrench, right? A wrench can interact with like a nut, a screw. So, yeah, if you're holding a wrench, you should be able to interact with screws, for example. That's just an example of a thing. And then also, I should handle dropping items. Yeah, and I also said that make moving rigid bodies rotation fixed while hatches should be swiveling. Yeah, because right now I disabled rigid body fixed rotation because I couldn't open the hatches. You need to have swiveling grabbing if I want hatches to open. Okay, so and then I don't know. I still keep these like handrails and clinging there, but I won't have time for that. That's gonna be for later, for another stream. Oh yeah, and yesterday I actually did so many things. It's actually amazing. But I started at like 8 and I finished at 1 a.m. right? So 5 hours of stream. Yeah, today it's not gonna be 5 hours of streaming. But yeah, so what is the problem? In Unity, hello there, hello Sleepy Mushroom. So in Unity, I implemented interaction before, and I actually have my own library that I use. But basically, this is how it works. Let me explain. I basically have an interactable class interactable, okay, and that class then inherits. Okay, let me do it like this. It inherits the mono behavior. Okay, and then when I place the interactable, I can place it as a component on objects, on game objects, right? So these can be. So basically, what I do is I have for example, I have a method called interact. Yeah, it's not called use. The use is on an item. And basically, what I get is I inherit this from some other class. For example, what's another item? Fork. Fork inherits interactable. Okay, and fork can do like interact. Yeah, for interact, what it does is that it does a stab or something, right? Stab. When you click on something. Yeah, so that's how you... Oh, yeah, well, this is actually an item. This is not good. Okay, let's not go with the fork. Let's go with the button, which is something that I'm going to do as well. And so, yeah, let's say that for interact... Oh, this is weird that it's like aligned. Okay. For interact, I do like okay, let's do like this so that it's like a pseudocode. Instead of here, I say, I don't know, print pressed button, right? It's like, okay. So basically what you do is that when the player, and there is a button in the world, and the player comes in, here's the player, and it's looking at the button, and you click, and then it presses a button. And then what it does is that it looks for a component on this object. Like, is there an interactable on it? Yes. Then call interact. So what are you working on? Yeah, I'm working on implementing an interaction system in Godot. But the problem is that Godot doesn't have... Okay, let's actually change the color of this to white because it's Unity. Now we're gonna go with blue. Okay, so what is the thing with yeah, this is how I would do it in Unity, right? And in Godot, the problem is that it doesn't have components, right? Instead you have scripts that need to inherit something. Okay, so if I had an interactable class, what would I inherit? Interactable, and I inherit a node, right? Because this is like the basic thing. But here's the problem: I can't actually interact with. If I put the interactable, this becomes a script. Okay, this becomes a script. Okay, let's use blue for becomes script. And what that means is that hello Pixus, hello. So yeah, implementing an interaction system. So yeah, in Unity it's kind of easy. But in Godot, I'm having a little bit of a trouble understanding what's the best way to do it. So the problem is that in Godot, okay, we can do the same thing, right? Let's try to inherit just a node. But we will quickly get into a problem. So yeah, let me actually make a new folder. I'm gonna call it interaction. Okay. And in interaction, let's make a new script. I'm gonna call it interactable. Okay, and inherits from node. Oh, and this is, I shouldn't have double clicked. Oh, or I should have. Okay, so let's say that our interactable has a thing that is, it's going to have some kind of an abstract, or let's start with the virtual class, which is interact, as I said. And that interact is gonna, let's do just like a print method in the beginning. Okay, works like this. Classic. Okay, so when my player interacts with this interaction, right? Here, wow, it's okay. Everything is running really slow. Maybe it's Excalibur. So basically, where am I raycasting? This is not input. This is actually in. Yeah, there it is. I have a hit collider. So a hit collider is like raycasting, and when you get a get collider, that is actually going to point into the body that it gets collided with. But it is strange that it has like a Godot object. This is the first thing that I'm not quite sure about. But it returns the first object that the ray intersects. But it's not really true that it takes the first object, because it doesn't actually return a collision shape. It returns the body. So usually a shape is a child of a collision body. So that's how I'm getting all the other stuff. Like if it is a body, where am I setting that? Yeah, there it is. If hit collider is rigid body, then you can throw and stuff like that. But yeah, let's try to now do a I don't know, let's do it before grabbing. If hit collider is interactable. Okay, let's try that. And I'm gonna say, did I, by the way, submit everything? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. What is this? Okay, it's only the to-dos. Oh, and I do actually have this, which I'm not gonna implement yet. Why did I write this in utils? I was just doodling something. Okay, so hit collider is interactable. Yeah, so if hit collider is interactable, let's say gd print interactable. Okay, and so it's going to tell me. Let's also make the window smaller so that I can see gd output. And let's, okay, I'm gonna kill this port because it's always in the way. And let's make, I don't know, I'm gonna make a copy of this clutter box, and I'm gonna attach the interactable node here. Interactable. Okay. And let's see what happens if I look at it. Is it going to be the interactable or not? Come on. Okay. So I focus on it, and there it is. It's interactable. So what the hell is going on, right? Because I would expect that this is a rigid body, right? That the hit collider, that the stuff that you collide is a rigid body. And you know, my Unity brain says that if hit collider is a rigid body, then I should like get component, and then you get some, you know, like interactable, right? This is what I would do in Unity. But in Godot, the rigid body actually becomes the interactable. Because it is on here. It's actually on the object. And if it's like inheriting the node, and it's a script. But here's the thing, which is really strange, is that there is no way, because my custom script inherits from, it inherits from node, right? Because it inherits from node, it's actually now hiding all the other inheritance. So node 3D inherits from node, collision object inherits from node 3D, physics from this, and rigid body from this. So it's like Godot has like this deep inheritance in the engine, which is never good. Because you have like the 10 different vtables now. You're jumping through them. And everything is allocated on the heap. Great. But yeah, here is what is going on, right? This script, this is how I understand it, at least, because I was doing some Googling, is that kind of the script, that because it inherits from node, it's actually shadowing everything else. So there's actually no way for me, because I put the interaction on script on it, there's no way for me to actually get this original rigid body. So what did I do now? By putting the script on the rigid body, what I did now is come on, launch, come on, by putting the interaction on this object, I've actually made the item uninteractable. I can't grab it anymore. I can't grab it because this object is no longer a rigid body. Now it has become an interactable. And yeah, although it does behave like a rigid body, right? This is the most confusing thing. It still behaves like a rigid body. It is in the world. It is like, it's still like in the engine. It's there. Okay? But it's not a rigid body. It's not a rigid body because it now thinks it's from like script, from the view of the script, it doesn't exist as a rigid body. And I was actually looking for how do you access the shadowed rigid body, and looks like there is no way. Okay, so when you put, like, I was actually Googling a lot, and there was actually one thing that said, there was even one of the Godot, I don't know, answers about, like, yeah, you can't actually get it because in script world it doesn't exist anymore because you have kind of shadowed it. And I wish I could find that. Why is talking about metadata? Yeah, and there's a lot of people complaining about this and saying that you should use a component-based system instead of inheritance. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either in Godot. It like, much better to have a like, not inheritance but composition, like in Unity. Not just because it's how Unity does it, but because it just makes it much more sense. So how do I implement interaction? Well, this would mean that for every interactable, I would need to extend, for it to also be a rigid body, it would need to inherit the rigid body. That's the problem. But another, the thing is that I'm not going to interact with the rigid body all the time, right? So what if that's some kind of a static body that is just on the wall? I want to still use an interactable for that, but I can't because I won't be able to have a rigid body. So yeah, that's the issue. That's a huge issue. Because I can't do that. And then one of the suggestions, which I wish I could find it now, where I was like, how do you access? No, that is about collisions. Let's say Godot, how to access script that doesn't inherit. How to built-in functions in an inherited script. Yeah, I think this could be about it. Or I'm not sure. But basically they were saying how to inherit functions. Function doesn't work. Maybe it's this one. It cannot. No, I don't know. But there's definitely, so it can't be instanced. Beginner confusion about inheritance. Maybe it's this. The attach script. Okay, no, this is about attaching a script. Godot. Inherit from, yeah, scripts, inheritance, access. I don't know. How can you inherit from a script? Is this the same one? It is the same one. But anyway, there was some good how inherited behavior across scripts extending. Is it this one? No, I don't know. There was one thing. How do I change parent variables in inherited script? Okay. Checking for inheritance, setting variables with an inherited script. No, this is the same one. Ah, shit. I wish I actually saved it. Maybe it's one of these. No, it's definitely not. Raycasting. Component-based system. But yeah, I just wanted to quote. What is this? Light and Earth. Oh, Light and Earth. Yeah, I wish I saved it now. Maybe it was one of the GitHub issues. I think it was. Okay, Godot. Inherit. How to access script. Get a component for doesn't inherit. Is inheritance. How can I access built-in function? Can't get a node of its actual type unless the script derives from that type. I think it's this one. Yes, it's that one. When trying to make a general node class that can be used for all nodes, this is exactly what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to make a thing that is going to work on anything. Then, like in C#, there's no way to get the node as spatial unless the script derives from node exactly. And then he was like, this is impossible. C# uses static typing. Calling a function without it defined in the class is not possible. Also, Unity's design supports multiple inheritance, while Godot does not. So many scripts won't be able to be translated in Godot's C#. Yeah, that is a problem. And it says, oh yeah, here, just to clarify, Unity doesn't have multiple inheritance at all. No multiple inheritance, that's true. Components. Components are on basically, but it says components can be translated if you use child nodes where get component becomes get node. So in Unity, you would have like, for example, a game object with rigid body, collision capsule, mesh render, mesh filter would translate into like a node with children node as spatial rigid body collision shape mesh instance node. And I thought, okay, that sounds okay. Yeah, there it is. The same thing from the main Godot developer. You can effectively translate components as empty child nodes in Godot. But there's actually a few problems with this, okay? One problem is that it's not as type safe. Basically, what I would need to do is that, yeah, let's remove this script. Instead, I'm gonna add a child node, as I said. So add a node, And I'm gonna do just interactable. Okay, so what do I need to do? First I need to get this interaction from somehow. So how do I do this? Well, yeah, hit collider is not interactable, but I need to basically check hit has child or something, child, and yeah, there's no such thing. Well, actually, this needs to be a node. So let's convert into a node first. Hit node is, oh yeah, I need to say if hit collider is not null first. Then I need to convert this as node 3D, or I can just do it in the same hit collider as node. Okay, no, is node, and then hit node. Let's call it like that. Okay, so if it is a node, I'm gonna grab from a hit node get child, right? Get child, but you know, and I can be like interactable, cool. But then here's the thing: you need to pass it an index, or you need to pass it returns a child by its index. This method is often used for iterating all children of a node. Negative indices, okay, yeah. But you should not, it says you should get a children by its name. So if you want to go and say get path, it returns the absolute path. No, not get path, but get node, right? So get node interactable, but you need to pass it a path. You can't just automatically. So you need to call it somehow. I don't know. I can call it interact or something. Right? Wait. Interactable. Let's call it like that. And then we can print the interactable. Oh yeah. Well, let's say if interactable is not null, then I'm gonna print interactable. Well, there is one issue here as well, because now I think it's gonna be erroring everyone, all the time. Everywhere, everything, all at once. Yeah, as we can see, it actually is, it's erroring, and it's erroring because it says like, hey, node of this type not found. So I actually have to preface this with if hit node has node, okay, and I need to first test if it has an interact node, and if it does, do this, okay? Which, yeah, and I mean, I'm using strings 2 times, right? And I need to compare the strings. It sounds very, very dirty to me. And there is another problem, not just that, but let me show you. Okay, so as you can see, it's not interactable. This thing now, oh, it's not interactable either. Or is it just not showing me? But it is, at least it is a rigid body. Let's see. Yeah, it is this one. Oh, I didn't call it interact. There it is. There's one problem, because now I need to make sure that this is called interact, right? It needs to have a name, because everything works with a name. You need to name the node. Yes, I've noticed it as well. There it is. Now it's showing me interactable. And there's another problem. Another problem is, what if this interaction with the capital? No, I didn't make it into a capital. But yeah, another thing is, okay, so let's make this local just for now, so it breaks up the scene, and I have this interact node. But here's the thing. What I do is I'm gonna create a test. Let's say, let's call it interact test. Okay, and I'm gonna make it into a scene. Okay, let's say prefabs. Let's actually call this a testing prefabs. Okay, and now the interaction has disappeared, you know. So now if I want to interact with it, I actually have to look into the object, and I have to set up my, so what if I have properties? What if I have some properties here, right? I want to set like, I want to set some, I want to connect it to another node, or I want to say, you know, export float some number, right? So that one now lives. I need to rerun it so that it recompiles. Okay, it has ran. So there it is. I have one number, but I can't edit that number outside, right? Because the main is now like, you know, I can't do it. I would need to make these editable children, and then I could change this number. But then this is also kind of, I don't like this way because it's not in the top node. I would really like to have everything kind of modifiable in the top. Yeah, so, and as I said, the problem is that, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like this. I just don't like getting stuff with strings. So I was thinking, by the way, everything that I've talked until now, I've actually tried before. And I've realized that it sucks, right? But I'm going to have to use it if I have to. But I want to try an alternative, okay? I want to try something different, and I don't know if this is going to work. So let's see. So instead of using this weird sub-node system, which everybody is suggesting you should use, instead, I want to try to use interfaces instead. Instead of inheritance, I can use interfaces. In that way, I can actually inherit. I can actually implement interfaces onto anything. So it could be a rigid body, it could be a static body. I don't have to think about the nodes themselves. Well, at least that is the hope. So let's try to change. I do want to try to make the interactable into. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't even try implementing interacting. So yeah, if I right click on it, it should interact. But let's try actually converting this into an interface instead. So this is going to be an interface now. Okay, and I don't know what is going on here. So the difference between classes and interfaces is that interfaces do not have fields first, right? So I cannot have that. They have only methods, and they have other things they can have. But in the newer C# versions, you can actually have interaction. You can actually have default methods implemented, which is a bit weird because I'm not used to it. But yeah, here now it works. In previous versions of C# like that I used in Unity, you cannot actually implement default behavior. You need to implement everything that you define. And by the way, the virtual, this shouldn't be virtual, and this also shouldn't be public because it's public by default if the interface itself is public. Naming rule variation. Those words must begin with uppercase characters. Interactable. Oh, it's because I'm missing an I. Interactable. It's because it needs to be I interactable, probably. Is it complaining now? Declare types and namespaces. Yeah, this is a difference. Okay, so I guess it's like it doesn't only complain that I don't have an I, but it says, okay, because you have a double I, you have to have that. So do I go with I interactable? It sounds a bit stupid. But yeah. Yeah, and instead of doing this, I'm gonna just interact like this without implementing by default. And another thing that I actually want to add is I want to add some kind of a label that I'm going to show. So interact label. And I can actually make this into a get. So it's like a string getting. So what do I do now? I need to implement this into something else. So let's just make some kind of a test interactable for the beginning. And I'm gonna do here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just implement test interactable, and that's going to inherit well, now it needs to inherit some kind of a yeah, let's go with rigid body, because we do have that rigid body box already. And let's then implement, what is it complaining about? Missing partial modifier. Godot object. What I don't even know what's a partial. What is a partial? Partial C#. Partial classes. It is possible to split the definition of a class or method over 2 or more source files. Oh, I see. So how do they actually combine? And all the parts of the combine. So, but why is it forcing me to do a partial? Because I guess the partial, if you inherit the partial, it needs to also have a partial. That's a bit weird. Okay, anyway. Yeah, and let's try now implementing interactable. Still don't like the name. And VS Code now gives us automatic implementing of this interface. So I can just say, okay, return a, I don't know, interaction label is use or something like that. It's some generic thing. And interact is going to give me, let's just print. Oh, it's not DG, it's GD. GD print works with a 1 exclamation mark. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, instead of having the interactable in my player movement, right, as I did here, I'm gonna get the nodes, and I'm gonna say that the nodes interactable get node interactable. Yeah, so there's no more interact bullshit. Instead, I'm gonna try to get to see if the nodes, well, I can actually say hit collider directly, right? I don't need the node anymore. Hit collider is node. Yeah, I don't need the node. I can just do var interactable. Oh, no, I can do like if hit collider is interactable, is I interactable. And for the beginning, let's just print interactable. Just is okay. It works with interfaces too, just to have something different. Okay, so now that we have inherited this test, that means that it should actually work with the, instead of using the interact, it should work by putting the node over here. So let's see what happens. Does it work? No. Oh, there it is. It works with interfaces too, it says. Wait. Oh, it's actually the wrong it's the wrong box that I was. So there it is. It works with interfaces too, and I can also grab it. So it's both a, whoa, nice windmill. Wait, let me throw it. Ooh. Okay, so it's both a rigid body and an interactable interface. This is perfect, because then I can just use interfaces for interaction instead of subnodes. And yeah, one benefit is that I don't need to do this, right? I can say, is it possible to break break apart the children, make local. Yes, make local. And I'm gonna remove this interact. And is that trying to instantiate? Yes, it cannot instantiate because it doesn't exist. Interact, right? And one thing is that if I try to make this into a save branches scene, let's do the interact test again. Can't override, still, that is still open. Okay, let's remove this. Okay. So I can turn this into a, oh yeah, by the way, let's add some export here. I'm gonna say export float some number. Okay, some number, and it's gonna be 0 by default, but works. And some number is, and I can do like some number plus some number, right? So yeah, I need to rebuild the script, but for the beginning, let's turn this into a, yeah, I did actually turn it into a scene, right? Interact test. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. Save as scene. Okay, override it. There it is. Cool. Okay, let's build this. Okay, let's move to the box. It says it's interactable. And yeah. But here's the thing. I go into the text test, and there it is. It's the sum number. I can set it to something, to some number like 1. But I can also override it in the main, because now it's on the top. I'm not messing anything but inside, because there it is, some number, and I can change it. I can have different numbers for different objects without having to make the children local. Right, like this, minus 5, I don't know, let's see it. So let's actually interact with it. I have to right click, but right clicking is in the input. This is physics. Input, there it is. If mouse button pressed, grab input. This is like wants to interact. Yeah, I actually want I want to have some bool which is gonna be cleaned up at the end of the update instead of implementing interaction in here in the input. How can I do that with multiple things? Okay, I have an idea. I can make a little struct that's gonna keep a state of all my inputs. Let's call it imp. And there's gonna be a, well, I need to make it public bool LMB. Okay, this is gonna be the left mouse button, and there's gonna be, no, let's just have right mouse button for now. Okay, and then I'm gonna have the imp. It's just been called pressed, right? So this struct is gonna have all the data about pressed. And why could this work? Actually, I have no idea if this is gonna work. I never tried this before, but I have a feeling like it could. So I could just, instead of this, if, yeah, let's do else if button index is mouse button right. I'm gonna set the pressed RMB to true. And here's the thing. At the end of my update, I'm gonna set pressed to default. So that basically means that I turn everything in the pressed struct to false. So now I can add put all the keys here. if whatever I want to use. So now I can use it in update. It is a little bit weird, but so here's the thing. Yeah, the problem is that the reason why I'm doing this is that in Unity you have input.keyDown, right? In Godot you have a separate function for inputs, and that's why you need to receive inputs in a separate function. Because this might work on another thread, I'm not sure. I don't think so, by the way, but maybe because input is received multiple times per frame. I'm not sure exactly. But anyway, yeah, so I should grab the input, and yeah, if hit collider is interactable, let's remove this. It works with interfaces too, and instead I'm gonna say if interactable, and I'm gonna have interactable here, and for the interactable, let's say if pressed RMB, then interactable, whoops, not interface, interactable, interact. Okay, so let's see if that works. So my test interactable should output works, and some number is some number. Okay, if this works, this is going to be my architecture for interaction. Okay, so here we go. This should be interactable. Right click. Oh my god, it works, and some number is -4. It works, and some number is 1.96. Nice, but it's happening twice in the frame because I'm detecting both a press and a release of the mouse. So I fucked up by doing this. Wait, where is this? Yes, here, where I'm setting the pressed. Instead, this should actually be if me pressed. Hello, Anton. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. I've just figured out how to use interfaces for interaction instead of inheritance, and instead of adding additional nodes, which simplifies working in Godot much more. So yeah, I have. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can have another group for released, right? I can just copy this, and I can say released. This is surprisingly a good solution for like clearing up all the inputs. So pressed, released. Let's do a released. Where is released? Else released RMB is true. And you know, I can also compact this one since I don't have anything else. And yeah, let's see where I'm actually clearing up. There it is. I'm gonna just clear up released as well. There it is. Easy peasy. And yeah, so I have pressed. It works at interfaces. Okay, let's add the text to interact, to like if interactable add text interact. But I would need to push out the interactable outside. So basically I'm gonna have some interactable as yeah, this is going to be interactable, and that's gonna be initialized as null. I wonder if you can do this. Can you convert to null? Oh my god, you can. Nice. I never thought about this, but yeah, this is nicer. Because yeah, nothing can be null. Cannot assign null to an implicitly typed value. Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna have a null, and then we're gonna check if hit collider is not null. And no, let's capture the interactable inside. So I'm gonna say interactable is hit collider as interactable. Okay. So now I just convert interactable, and I'm just gonna check here if interactable is not null. Cool, and there we go. If pressed, interact. That's the easiest thing. Interactable, and now we're gonna have just here when I'm adding things, I'm gonna say if interactable is not null, add text, RMB, and then I'm gonna add the interaction test. So interaction text. So interactable dot what was the name of it? Label, interact label. There it is. Okay. So by the way, let's do, yeah, let's convert from use to tell number or something like that. Let's do small caps. So let's see. Neat. Okay, so now when I look at this, there it is. I look at that. Tell number. RMB to tell number, right click, there it is. Works, and the number is -4. Perfect. We have implemented successfully interaction with multiple types. So yeah, just to test the multiple types, I could do a fixed, let's do a fixed body. Should I make a new one? Cube. I think there's a cube somewhere. Oh no, there's only a... Okay, let's make a new one. Let's make a new child node of mesh instance. Mesh instance. Okay, and the mesh is gonna be the cube. Yeah, and where is this? It's somewhere in the middle. Okay, let's make this into like a button. Okay, something like this, so that they can see it. Oh, but the forward. Okay, yeah, let's make it a static body. Or yeah, actually, let me test without a body. What happens if it doesn't have a body? What if it just has a shape? Collision shape. And yeah, the collision shape. Can I put... No, of course. I would need to convert this into static body. Oh. So can a shape exist without a static body? That's the question. Static body. Aha, it does not. I think that's the problem. Only serves to provide a collision shape to a collision object derived node. Yeah, it needs to have a static body actually. So, well, I'm gonna put it on the top. Okay, and this is actually should have a one transform. Okay, well, now everything's broken. Transform. Scale. Okay, let's do that. Cool, so we have a static body. And I'm gonna add, so the problem is that my object is not a rigid body anymore, right? I need to do a different test. Okay, let's see, let's say a button. Let's create another interactable. Yeah, this is now a problem, because what if my body is not a static body? So, yeah, this is not a great solution either. Somehow, it needs to be a different thing as well. Collision object 3D. Yeah, but if I put a collision object 3D, it's gonna hide the static body. Which I might not even... Wait a minute, why does static body have a linear, like, why does it have a locking? Okay, let's try to do a Yeah, it is a problem. It is a problem because if I want to make it, but am I actually going to have cases where I'm going to have both a rigid body and a static body interacting? Maybe I won't. So in that case, I think it's okay. Let's make a button. Okay. And I'm going to actually inherit the rigid body. No, I'm gonna inherit collision object. Okay. And what does it say? Does not contain a constructor that takes 0. Oh my god, you can't actually create a collision object. Are you kidding me? Can you not inherit a collision object? Collision polygon. There's no object. Rigid body. Physics body. Physics body. What's the name of it? Collision objects. It's uninteractive. It's cannot inherit. Oh my god. So that sucks. So that means I will have to either have a rigid body or not a rigid body, or just a node 3D. Are you kidding me? Okay, this is where the entire everything good about Godot falls off the cliff, you know. Yeah. What if I just inherit node 3D, because that's going to work with both rigid bodies and static bodies. Let's do I interactable. Let's remove this. Okay, and now I'm gonna just inherit. No, I didn't want to press that. And let's say press here with a small letter. And then yeah, let's me just output gd print pressed button or something like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna attach this to. Oh, I'm gonna attach the button to this. Okay, let's see. Let's see how this works. Partial classes. Okay, so here's my R&B press works. Okay, pressed button. Cool. Okay, that's nice, but now I can't I can't access the static body. So it does act as a static body, but it's can you actually nest static bodies? That's my question. Can you nest static bodies? Let's see. Add child node, static body. So if I have like a panel with a lot of buttons, right? It doesn't complain. So I hope that you can. Let's call this button. Okay, and then let's have 2 different buttons. And let's see if it works. Oh, I should have made it into a prefab or a scene, but okay. Okay, it does work. Does work. There it is. Yeah. So I guess you can, but can you actually move them? Well, yeah. So it looks like you can. Oh wait, what does it say? This node has no shape. It can't collide. I guess I need a shape for this as well. Let's put it in here, just so that it doesn't complain. Oh, this is not the instance. This is okay, there it is. Okay. So yeah, it looks like it works, but the problem is, what if I want to have a rigid body that has some bodies that are children of it, but I want to interact, like, you know, I have some kind of floating keyboard, and I want to press keys on this keyboard. How would I implement that? That's the next challenge. Okay, let's submit some stuff for the fork initial. Yeah, by the way, let's go over the let's go over the stream, and let's see what I implemented so far. So yeah, explore inheritance or interfaces. I actually decided on interfaces, but let's see how it goes. Interactable class. Well, actually, it's a interactable interface. Using interactables when right-clicking on them while in view. Using interactables when right-clicking on them when in view. Yes, that works. Locking the hatches, right-click locks them. Okay, yeah, button pushing kind of works. Kind of. Partial. Okay. Not yet. Yeah, so what am I thinking about? I'm thinking, what would happen if you put a... could you put a static body inside a rigid body? I doubt that's possible. Okay, let's try this. Like, okay, you have one interactable, and then I'm gonna add a child node of type static body. Surprisingly, this doesn't complain. The node has no shape. Let's see, is it gonna complain when I add a shape to it? Okay, collision shape. Let's reuse the same shape. Well, now who knows? Okay, there it is. All right, and let's also... yeah, I would actually copy the whole thing. By the way, let me remove all the clutter, because I think this might be the cause of why everything is so slow. So interact test. Let's not change the interactables. Okay, and I have this. What is this? Oh, this is just one clutter box. Okay. So yeah, about this one, I have a mesh instance as well. I'm gonna add that to the static body that I have here. Okay, and let's actually reset the position, and I'm gonna reset the position of this one as well. Cool. Okay, so yeah, let's move the static body sort of outside. And yeah, let's see if this can be buttoned. But let's also add some number into the button. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it. I know that it works. Let's try it. Is it gonna even work, or is it just gonna like be static? Still takes a long time. Okay. Oh my god. It's actually possible to parent the static body to the rigid body, but it does not act as a rigid body. You know, you can't press on it. You can't hold it. You can't hold it. You can't hold it. What the hell happened? Why does it act? Why did it get stuck? What the hell? I think it thinks it's a static body. Tell number works. Pressing a button works. This is weird. It worked and then it got stuck. Wait a minute. Okay, let's restart. Does it actually work or not? It does work. Oh, wait, what? Okay, there's definitely some weird behavior going on here. It's not really acting as a correct rigid body. Yeah, it does get stuck in the air of nothingness. So I think it doesn't work. I think that the static body is probably pushing it. Yeah, it can move forward. Absolutely. It can move forward because of the static body. So it's just like it can be dragged, but it can be pushed into the static body. Wow, this is so weird. The strange thing is that it doesn't really complain about, like, you can't mix static bodies. It looks like it is slightly inside. Yeah. So because I'm attempting, yeah, now it's stuck, basically. I can't do anything with it. So it's like, it thinks that this is a static body, so it can't impart any force on it, right? So it can only go backwards. It can only go that way, and now it's stuck because it's along the wall. Okay, so that doesn't work. What else is there? There's also possibility to do it with a change type. Let's change. There is also like a kinematic body or something. Kinematic. No, what is it called? Animatable body. A 3D physics body that can't be moved by external forces. When moved manually, it affects other bodies in its path. I think this is basically the kinematic body, but it inherits from static body. I don't know. Let's make it into. Yeah, I've turned it into animatable body. Let's see how that behaves. What are you trying to achieve? So basically, what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to. By the way, there's like 1 hour left. What I'm trying to achieve. Let's say I have like a box, right? I have a box, and this box has a lid on top of it. And what I want to do is that when the astronaut here is looking at the bulk of the box, right? This is a rigid body. The whole thing is a rigid body. It can move. It can move anywhere, right? When I look into this part, I want to actually move it, like with as I would, right? I can move it, but when I actually look into this, I want to move it as well, with left mouse button. But when I'm hitting the top, I want to be able to right click and use this. So like open this box, right? And then it would like open it or something, you know, to the side, whatever, you know, something like this. So yeah, basically I want to have rigid bodies that can have parts of them interactable, right? And another thing, what I was actually trying there was, yeah, let's have, as I said, let's have like a keyboard that is a rigid body. It's flying around. but then I can like press individual buttons on a keyboard, right? So I want to have a body that can move, and then I can also interact with individual things on it. That's what I'm trying to achieve, right? So how would I do it with this principle? One way is to actually make it everything into, okay, let's try the kinematic. Do you understand now what I'm trying to achieve? The problem is, okay, it can go forward. Does it actually work? Well, it doesn't seem to behave awkwardly. It can move forward. It can fly backwards. Okay, it still works. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh no. It doesn't actually work. Because this is the tell number interactable. So where's my kinematic interactable then? Sync to physics. What does this mean? If true, the body movement will be synchronized to the physics frame. This is useful with animating. Animatable body. Yes, a bit. Yes, a bit what? I don't know. It was a long time ago. But yeah, obviously this doesn't work because this is animatable body. But it doesn't seem... Okay, what if I remove the physics? Yeah, it does actually complain, so this is good. And yeah, it seems that it doesn't collide with this. That's the problem. My ray doesn't collide with it. Yes, you understand what you're trying to do a bit. Okay. So ideally, this actually can be achieved in Unity. Okay, this can actually be achieved in Unity. Oh, there. It's RMB pressed button. But when I move this, there. Oh, it actually stays there. It actually stays in the middle for some reason. It doesn't actually move with the... Yeah. So the sub body doesn't actually move with the parent. Well, to achieve this, I would have to add a joint. Well, that's the problem, because I don't want to have joints interacting. Like, I don't want to have 1,000 joints for one keyboard, right? Well, I wanted to say that you can do this in Unity, because in Unity you can actually get a collider that you're raycasting into. In Godot, I actually tried to do this and I couldn't get it to work because it is really strange. It really has a strange thing. So I tried to where's my player? Okay. Wow. Player movement. This one doesn't exist anymore. Basically, how Godot works is that you have a grab raycast node. You have a thing which is like get collider shape, but get collider shape actually gives you back an int, returns the shape ID of the first object that the ray intersects. But the problem is that this ID is actually always 0, and I don't understand why. That's one thing. Okay, one thing is that this is always 0. And another problem, the ray or 0 if no object is intersecting the ray. Yeah. Another problem is that this collider shape is not the shape collider. right? That's not the collision shape, sorry. Because there's two different things. There's a collision shape, and the shape itself is here. This is the shape. This is actually the concave polygon shape is a shape. This is what you get from here. But you can't actually get, this says get collider, but it actually returns a body. It doesn't return a shape. So yeah, the way that it's just really strange how Godot works. And I don't think there is a way to actually get a collision shape out of a raycast, unfortunately. Collision shape. Get, yeah, there, I already tried to Google. How to determine which collision shape a rake is collided with. And I have a static body that contains the menu, collision shape for each selection of the menu. I have a pointer, yeah. And then it says, the solution turns out to be rather simple and straightforward. For each selection menu, I created a static body that is nothing but a container for its collision shape. Yeah. So this is how it works, but that doesn't solve my problem, right? Because I want to have movable, I want to have a rigid body that flies around and you can interact with its colliders, individual colliders. And sure, raycast isn't colliding with the static body. To get the collisions, you could try get collider collision body name. I don't have Godot at the moment. Yeah, somebody is replying. I hate people who reply with like, oh, I don't have Godot, but I gave you a solution. Shapecast. Raycast not detecting collision shape. In Godot 4. Oh, and it's still open. Convex polygon shape 3D doesn't seem to register raycast collisions with mouse using kinematic body. Collision with the box shape as well as CSG mesh detects mouse collisions just fine. Kinematic. Yeah. So, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to handle collisions for sub-objects correctly. Puzzle with the hierarchy of nodes in regarding that the ray. This is me. This is basically me. Okay, where is my extensions? Dark reader, please turn it on. Yes, please. I'm new to Godot, but not OOP. I'm confused about ray tracing intersections. I looked at this example. Does it somehow have to do with signals? It yields a parent node of the collision object, which in turn, so it's like disable mode remove. The code for shooting uses raycasting. Raycast collision to be with the collision shape, but ground is displayed instead. Yeah. What's going on? Static body 3D derives from collision object 3D, not collision shape. A collision object must have one or more shapes. This lets you build a complex physical shape from multiple primitive shapes. But is there a way to get a specific shape? This is what I'm trying to do. The disable mode describes the behavior that the physics engine should take when the node is disabled. Doesn't have to do anything with. Thanks for the clarification. I was indeed confused, so my interpretation of what's going on. Collision 3D up scans all children for those that are collision shape 3D and adds them to the physical world. Collision shape 3D is collided, tells reference to the parent. But how can I get the object itself? Create a physics object on the physics server 3D. The collision object 3D also configures the physics objects. Collision shape is added. It notifies the collision object, which then updates the physics object on the physics server 3D accordingly. So It update the physics object. So there's no way to get a shape. Basically, that's what it's saying. Okay, what if I have? Let's try to output the ID. So this doesn't work. Let me try. What if you have two instances of a collision shape? Okay, is it going to like detect both of them? And let me actually output gd print grab raycast nodes shape get shape get collider shape. Oh yeah, that's the ID. Okay, let's just output the IDs. Could you do that with multiple objects with each shape? For instance, your box would be two objects, one with the body and the shape of the body, and one lead object with the shape lead. Okay, let's try this first. Yeah, this is 0, this is 0. Yeah, everything is... Oh, no, wait, this is 1. Okay, so I do detect shapes. Different shapes. Okay, so maybe there's a... Maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance for this. So if I add another shape, which is totally invisible, off screen, is it going to tell me 2? Okay, is it gonna say 2? So 0, 1, 2. There it is. Okay, so it is actually, these are actually indexes. Okay, so why is this explanation so complicated? Get collider shape returns the shape ID of the first object that the ray intersects, or 0 if no object intersecting the ray. Okay, so I thought that the index starts from 1, but actually it starts from 0. It's just like that it also returns 0. Okay, but how do I get the shape object? Can I? Shape owner. Yeah, there is a thing with owning the shapes. Grab raycast node. Okay, let's do it here. If why did I remove it? Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna say shape ID is this, and then so can I think if you get it as a body, hit body, and then can you get a shape? What? Shape owner get owner. Returns the parent object of the given shape owner. Returns the parent object of the given shape owner. Shape owner get shape. Returns the shape 3D with the given ID from the shape owner. What the hell is a shape owner? Shape find owner. Returns the owner ID of the given shape. Okay, so maybe I can pass it a shape ID. But that returns a uint. Returns the owner ID. Okay, let's see. Owner ID. What do I do with the owner ID? Get owner. The node owner. A node can have any other node as owner. No, get shape owners. Collision object 3D. Shape owner get owner. Returns the parent object of the given shape owner. And what does it return? It returns a object. Let's see. Let's see if any of this even works. This is complicated. So I'm imagining that the owner is the collision shape. That's what I'm imagining. Right? And then it owns the shape. Or am I wrong? Let's do a... Yeah, let's get this object. Owner object. And let's just print it. gd print owner object. What's the problem here? If hit collider expected, oh, it's this. Let's see what I'm gonna have the output of. Collision shape. Hey, there it is. I am actually getting collision shapes. And this is a different collision shape as well. Collision shape 3D. Why is this not a collision shape? Why is this not a different collision shape? That's strange. Oh wait, these are all the same ones. Collision shape 3D. This is strange. All right. So is this a collision shape? If owner object is collision shape 3D, collision shape, can I draw a line? Gizmos, no. Debug draw, let's draw a line. No, let's draw a debug draw 3D shape parent. No, what do we want? I want to do a sphere. Draw a sphere on the owner of, at the collision shape position, global position, with the radius of like 0, 1. Position, okay, float radius, and then that's it. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if this is a different collision shape. Well, they aren't. This is some weird dithering going on. Okay. Seems like I'm not getting any. Oh, wait a minute. There was some. Hey there. Who is this? Who is this? I'm interacting with this, and it's actually pointing me here, but this one is not pointing me here. That's strange. So I think the owners are wrong. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Call 1. Let's just call it call 1, call 2, call 3. Does this change anything? No, it doesn't change anything. Let me just output the name if I can. Owner object name. What's collision shape? So what's going on here? It's just called collision shape 3D. Yeah, it is somewhere else. This is not my collision shape. This is someone else's collision shape. So I think the problem is that the shapes are actually instantiated. Find owner ID. Let's try owner ID. Okay, let's do interpolated. Yeah. Find owner of a shape ID. What does shape owner even mean? What are shape owners? According to the description, each shape must be assigned a shape owner. The collision object 2D can have any number of shape owners. Shape owners are not nodes. So what is a shape knower? What does creating a shape owner, adding a shape to owner actually mean? Let's say you have a kinematic. Then your player script gets shape owners. It will return an array. If you try to print, it will print circle shape 2D its ID. So shape owners are those that have the shape as one of its properties. See the collision shape example. So when you get shape owners, you're getting the children that have a shape. Okay. So does that mean I need to get owners? Hit body get shape owners. But it returns a 0 and 1. But I don't think this really clarified it for me. How to add shapes to a physics body in owner create shape owners. The collision object can have any number of, which raises a ton of questions. Yeah. Let's later discussion, but trying to understand this myself. I noticed that making a node programmatically. My initial version, new mesh instance, owner, create shape owner. Shape owner, add shape, box shape. The collider was still there. It seems like shape owners give you a way to group, enable, disable, and transform sets of shapes in a single collider. But it's unclear what the use case would be. Yeah. So that's not a node. Shape owners are not nodes. How do I get a collision object? That's what I want. Okay, so what if I have another empty node that is in front, and I just want to see if that's gonna output me different indices or something. This is confusing as hell. I just want to get the collider of my raycast. Okay, so we're over here. Why doesn't ID now not go up? What the hell? Wait, this is not being updated for some reason. Wait. Okay, let's not get shape owners. Is this not working? Hit collider is not null. Wait, what is this? Static body, physics body, collision object. What if I use a collision object instead? Okay, that still works. Let's actually rename this to collision object. What the hell? Why doesn't shape ID now work? So I had a shape ID here. Previously, right? And that worked fine. There it is. So this works fine, right? It says 0, 1, 2. So that's not actually a child index. That's something else. But it is sorted correctly. But what is a hit collider in this case? Hit collider is what? Hit collider get type. It's a button. Okay, all right. That's because I'm inheriting node. Right. So it actually does work. It's just that I have a button. Oh, fuck. Okay. I completely forgot about that. Let's not use a button. Let's have shapes. Shape with sub-shapes. Alright, yeah, this is a static body, so let's try this. Jesus, this is where everything in Godot fucks me. Okay, there we go. Hey, we have the shape colliders, individual, which is children of shape. This can work, this can work, yes. Cool. So what is the output actually? Owned object collision shape 3D, yes. Yes, we have collision shapes. But at what cost? But at what cost? Okay, so you basically need to do a shape find owner. And then you get the owner from the ID. Oh my god. Okay, and then I need to check if owner. Okay, so what happens if I attach a button to it? What if I attach a button to this? Is that going to be the owner? Now? Okay, it's not. This is perfect. This is good. Because this means that this thing is now a button. Alright. So yes, if owner is collision shape, draw sphere. Okay. And if it is not, right? Let's see if owner object is interactable. Interactable. Let's say gd print sub object is interactable. Let's see if this works. If it does, oh my god, then I have to overwrite interaction, and that's about it. There it is. Sub object is interactable. It works. So there it is. I think I've managed to find a solution to my moving keyboard, but let's try it with yeah, let's turn this into a interactable. So interactable, whoops, interactable is owner object as my interactable, right? Shape interactable. Let's call it like this. It's that. Okay, so there we go. So basically what I want to do is I want to first check if there is a shape, if there is a thing on a shape. If not, I'm gonna make it like this. So if interactable is not null, oh right, yeah, if interactable is null, then make the hit collider as interactable, right? So first turn this shape, yeah. So this is basically use collision shape as interactable if one exists. Let's say that. And then I'm gonna say otherwise use a collision body as interactable. There it is. Let's try this. Okay. I got cut out for a bit. Did I miss anything? I managed to find a way to get shapes from sub-objects. So there it is. We can interact with it as well. It works, but I'm being streamed by the prints. Being affected by prints. Use collision shape as interactable if one exists. And you know what? We can actually move this to utils. I'm pretty sure it would be usable for other people as well. So yeah, you can actually get a shape from a raycast. Nice. You don't have to go for bodies. This is going to reduce the number of bodies in the by a massive amount, because I was thinking, oh no, do I have to do individuals? Okay, let's see. There it is. There it says press there, and I can press it. And in this case, there it is. It also works. So it works on objects. It works on if it's attached to bodies, and it also works now if it's attached to shapes. My God, it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, but yeah, I can actually probably move this into a util. I'm gonna go to utils. Oh yeah, let's submit this. Oh, working. Yeah, let's interaction interface beginnings. Okay, and I'm gonna add this as, yeah, interaction now works with shapes as well. Cool. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Set parent. I added this one, by the way. Let's see. Clone material. Where is physics? Okay, physics. Yes. Kill motion detach. This is for. Okay, let's do this. Like let's call it public static void get shape. This is gonna be a raycast 3D raycast, right? And first we're gonna make sure that if, yeah, and that's gonna return a collision shape 3D. So I'm gonna say, yeah, it's no interactable, but I'm gonna say if it's collision shape, return collision shape, right? Something like that. Okay, and I don't need to set if owner object is shape interactable. Yeah. So basically, right, I need to get the shape ID as well, which is this. So shape ID from raycast get collider shape. And if hit collider, wait, if hit collider is why am I even testing this? Oh, right, because I need to convert it. I need to get it. Yeah. Yeah, this is like hit collider is raycast get collider. Okay. And by the way, I can say raycast has hit. What is it? Hit. If it's not, then I return, yeah, okay. So I can do this, can close it up, and at the end I can say return null if nothing of it, if everything fails. Yeah, hopefully this is safe. Get shape owners. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this print just for now. Okay, so you find a shape. Yeah, and then I can replace everything here with get shape. So var shape hit shape is raycast, grab raycast, get shape, there it is. And I can say if hit shape is not null, interactable is hit shape as I interactable. Okay, so something like this. Use collision shape as much cleaner now in my top level code. Okay, so if this is not null, I make it interactable, and if not, if this is null, well, it wants me to actually turn it into a like compound assignment, which I don't know. It's so ugly. Otherwise, use a collision. I guess I'm gonna keep it because that's the modern way of doing things. Okay, let's see if that works. Press. Okay, it doesn't work anymore. Press the button. Okay, I'm fucked. What did I do? What have I done to deserve this? I basically just... if hit shape is not null, right? If owner is collision shape, return collision shape. Otherwise, I get the shape ID, okay, shape owner, and then finally the old owner. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I did the same thing, no? Get shape. Did I try it? Button. Okay, the last one is button, right? Which is invisible, so it's hard to test. But this one should be a button, and it's not. Okay, I'm just gonna revert. Is owner is interactable. Is it gonna work like this? I'm confused about this. Can I not have a compound assignment? So if interactable is null, this probably means then turn it into a hit collider is interactable, right? And it's not actually giving me any errors, so that's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, it's not working now for some reason. Okay, so I'm gonna revert to when it was actually working. It wasn't working in this case, no? I probably didn't copy a line correctly or something. Yeah, there it is. Now it works. This is weird. Okay. Get shape owners. Yeah, I don't know what I actually forgot to. Yeah, let's remove this. Use collision shape. Shape ID. I get the shape ID. I turn it into a collision object. Collision shape. Collision shape 3D. If owner object. It's the same thing. I don't know what I'm doing. Collision shape name. If owner object is return collision shape. Ah, okay. Yes, because this is not a collision shape. This is where I was going wrong. Okay, yeah, I'm not actually returning. I shouldn't return a collision shape. I should return a node instead, I think. Because, yeah. In my case, it's a button, so it's not a... Owner object is node, collision node. Let's call it like this. Shape node. Return shape node. Okay, let's try now. So, raycast, grab raycast, get shape. That's gonna get me a node. Shape node is this. If shape node is interactable, shape interactable, then set interactable to shape interactable. Something like this. Let's see. Let's see if that works. And I have like 15 minutes left. So yeah, there it is. There it is. I have successfully converted a shape. If one exists. Otherwise, user collision body is interactable. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, added get shape to utils to simplify code. So there we go. Okay, that means that I should be able to, that should also work with the collision K, like this thing. Hopefully, without static bodies. Okay, let's try this. Instead of, yeah, I'm gonna add some, yeah, I'm gonna add a button again. But we don't actually have anything in the button. So yeah, one question that I have is how do you call, how would I be able to call a function on another object? I don't think there's such thing as unity events in Godot events. So I assume that instead of Godot events, I'm gonna have to just call it an object or something. Okay, let's say that this is like, okay, let's say the button has something to press. Public float, no, let's do an export flow int number. Pressed button with number, and then I'm gonna add a number. Let's see. Yeah, so I can basically take this, I can copy it. What does it complain about? Node configuration. Service provide the collision shape to collision object, but it does have a body. Please only use as a child of, okay, so it needs to be a direct child. Doesn't support. Oh, this is a concave shape. Whoops. Okay, let's do a box shape. Let's take a box shape. Okay, this is the box shape. Good. Okay, so no, that doesn't. Okay, it always needs to be an intermediate in immediate collision shape. So I guess I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna add 2 of them just so that I can have some differences. Yeah, let's see. There it is. It has a press button, number 0. Everything is number 0. And I can move it, and it's part of a different... Perfect. My God. So I can actually move this. Look at that. I can move the button as well. But I can also press it. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is better. So this is like a keyboard with flying buttons, right? Yeah, let's actually do some kind of a different number. So let's say one says 42. Another one says, am I stupid? I can't type in 42. And another says 666. Of course. So let's see if they say different numbers. If they do, that means they're correct. Correct shapes, and I can move on with my life. So, click number 42, number 66. Oh my God. So good. Okay, how would I now implement buttons? Perfect. I fixed this with interactable. So I can basically just inherit yeah, I can basically just inherit a node and put it on a collision shape. Player movement, no, what, yeah, stream. Looking for hatches. Yes, let's make a usable thing. Let's lock a hatch. I'm gonna call it, should I call it hatch lock or lock hatch? Hatch lock. Let's call it a hatch lock. Okay, so this is gonna be inheriting a... Yeah, I can actually inherit a rigid body in this case. Because that's gonna be my hatch. Is it gonna be on the hatch? Sure, why not, actually. Rigid body 3D. And I'm gonna do an I interactable. And then simply inherit this. And I'm gonna say implement, and the text is going to be lock. And then I'm gonna say on interact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a reference to, I'm gonna export nodes. This is, no, I'm gonna get a port, because port can lock. So we have a parent port and basically port lock. And that's it. And then I say true, right? Or I say, okay, wait. Can I actually get a state? Is locked. Yes. This is, yeah, I'm passing it. So port locked. Oh, it's a bool. Okay, I'm actually going to get it. Let's get it as a property. Bool locked is locked. Okay, like this. So I'm gonna say port locked. Not, so basically I'm toggling, right? I'm locking the port. Okay, and let's quickly run it so that I get this. Okay, I'm gonna shut down immediately. Come on. Yeah, is there like a compile script without having to run it? Compile, can I actually somehow compile without running it? This is what would be amazing. Toggle full screen. I don't know, but that would be great. And nothing of these are like compile scripts. Yeah. Anyway. What did I want? Yeah, let's actually open the hatch. And let's see. Passive hatch. Let's add into the passive hatch. Whoops. No, this is just the object. I actually want the passive port. So the hatch is here. It's a rigid body. Let's put a hatch lock on the rigid body. And so basically, I need to provide it a port. No. Okay. I need to provide it a port. Is it a port? Does it check for types? Hopefully it does. Okay, and then let me also go into the active. And I have the hatch as well here. Active hatch. I'm gonna also add a hatch lock. And I'm gonna add a port, assign the port. Active. Saved. Let's run. Let's see if I can lock. If yes, oh! Script inherits from native type rigid body 3D, so it can't be assigned to an object of type mesh instance 3D. Oh, whoops. Wrong assignment. Okay, let's remove that script. Instead, yeah, I put it accidentally the wrong. But strangely that it actually worked. It cannot because I was inheriting a wrong node. That's why. You can inherit anything that's below. Okay, there it is. Rerun. Okay, let's try locking a port. There it is. You can lock now. RMB lock. Oh, right. This one is jammed because of the light. Let's not use this one. Okay. So, if I right-click on a port like this one, right? If I close it and I right-click, now it's locked. There it is. It can't move. It's locked. And when I press click, I unlock it. Do I? Did I unlock it? There. Yeah, I did. I did. It just... It's hard. Okay. This is locked. What happens if I lock the open hatch? Like this one. Oh! It actually snaps. Snaps to locked position. Yeah. And then I can unlock it. Can I? Can I unlock it? Something is wrong. This is not really unlocked. Okay, let me actually debug. Lock is not port locked. And then I'm gonna say lock. But I'm gonna say also gd print if lock, then locked, unlocked. Okay, for some reason it has been opened in a script. So yeah, I have like 5 minutes left, unfortunately, but I think I've done the main bulk of the work. So let's lock this one. The snap's locked. Okay, and there, it says locked port. Okay, for some reason it never unlocks. Why? Because this never gets initiated. Yeah. I never actually set locked is locked. Okay, is locked. is lock. My god. That is why. Okay, so I could never unlock any of the hatches. Okay, it moves, it locks, it unlocks. There it is. So now I can lock and I can unlock. But of course it shouldn't snap outside it like this. It should actually detect if angle is correct. Right, cool. So now we can actually properly close the hatch. And we have some buttons. Okay, let's try in 5 minutes. I want to try to make a little thing, a button that receives commands. Can I do it? Do I have 5 minutes to do it? Yeah, this is super nice. Yeah, you see how quick it is now to add interactables. Added locking ports. Well, it's actually locking hatches. Let's configure the computer to button to do something different. I'm gonna try to call a script on another thing. Is there a way to actually export a function or something? Godot function in function pointer. Function overloading pointers, dynamic memory. Funcref. In GD scripts, functions are not first classes. Impossible to store them directly as variables. Nice. Funcref. But I don't think funcref actually even exists in C#. Funcref. Doesn't seem like. But there is a call. You can call anything on anything. So let's actually, instead of this number, I'm gonna say export node call on, and yeah, well, let's see, if call on exists, is not null, then call on call some function on button pressed, for example. And do I need to provide it arguments? Yes. Okay, let's give it arguments. Let's say export string args. I guess let's not have a number anymore. And I'm gonna say else. I'm gonna just say button pressed but does nothing. Okay. So yeah, on button pressed, let's pass it some args. Let's see if this works. And I have no idea if this is how expensive calling object like this is. This is like Unity invoke. It's probably super expensive. All right, let's add a new node somewhere. Should I add it here in the core? Probably not very safe. Core module interior. Let's put it outside. I'm gonna say button receiver. And let's make a new script. Let's say create new script. Yeah, let's put it into interaction for now. Okay, button receiver test, something like that. Let's put test in the beginning. Test button receive. Okay, whatever. Let's put it actually in testing. Test button receive. So I'm gonna add here a public on mouse button. No, on button pressed. It was like this, right? Oh, this should be a void. And string args. Okay, I'm gonna say pushed button or something. Yeah, let's just output receiving works args, and then I'm gonna just say args. So this is how I'm hoping to implement my computers and everything that interacts with stuff. So let's see. Yeah, I have to run it because so that it actually compiles. And it's 8:31. I'm gonna have to leave in a minute or two. Let's just test if this works. Okay, so there's a button here. It says nothing. Button pressed but does nothing. Okay, let's try to actually reference this button. This button, let's put it so that it can call on a button receiver. There it is, call on. Let's drag a button receiver and let's say arguments. Passing this. Okay, let's say, I don't know, message received. Okay, there we go. Message received. Let's say, do you hear me? Something like that. And let's put like message. Something like this. Plus. Amazing. Amazing C# work. So let's try it. We say, if I click this one does nothing. Button pressed but does nothing. Perfect. This one. Oh my god, it works. Receive and works. Message, do you hear me? Perfect. So I can send messages to things from interacting. And this means I can implement a keyboard. Like, you know, here you press A, it sends A to the computer. And it even works as a rigid body. There we go. We can now truly interact with stuff. This is great. There we go. We can do stuff. I can implement control panels now. Perfect. Perfect. That's it for today. I don't know if I'm gonna actually if I'll be back later. I might be back, but I'm not sure. And this perfectly collides with everything. There, I can throw it away and it still works. Where is it? Where is the button box? Oh, there it is. I can control it from the other side. Cool. So, yeah, very difficult stuff. Yeah, there it is. Do you hear me? It works. Nice. Nice. Beautiful. So, done. The most difficult part is done. Now, everything else is just fun of implementing things. So, where is my stream thing? Where is my stream? Stream. There it is. Locking the hatches, done. Button pushing, done. Well, button calling functions, done. Okay, and then in the next stream, I'm gonna start implementing class items so that you can take stuff and using them from cans. But the most difficult thing about, you know, having shapes, any shape being able to inherit, to interact with my raycast. Oh my god, I'm so happy that I managed to implement that because I thought it's going to be a huge blocker for using Godot. Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching again. I might be back tonight, but I don't know. I might not be. So I see you tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, bye.